better text her, let her know real quick.
You give me 1 second.
Hey, Shauna. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I
Sorry.
believe in reality. Yeah, they have, but um, regardless, I mean, they could have found them a week ago, and you're still gonna have YouTubers throw up pages of rehearsed same thing over and over uh, until it comes out to the public from officials. Um, I looked through today, and there's probably 15 or 20 still saying this and saying that, and they're still trying to, get views uh, just talking about Jack and Lily. Hey, yeah, work, good deal.
Who telling you?
So there's going to be people talk about, you know, that they still ain't found them, that they're still doing DNA with the stuff they found, and they don't know if the children are who they are yet, and all this rigmarole, and lack of evidence here and lack of evidence there, and YouTubers gonna keep this thing going as long as they can. But like I said, once the authorities throw it out, then they'll hush. But that's all it is. I clicked on one while ago, a different one than I did yesterday, and it wasn't nothing but apology again from authorities saying that they effed up. And, West Virginia, Holla Girl. There you go. How you doing, love? Welcome to JSV. If you like this kind of content, I hope that you subscribe and like and become a JSV fan. We was 2,560. Now we're 2,559. So somebody jumped off last night. So we need to show them we can bump it back up. Dadgummit. This one right here was shocking. 30 minutes ago, breakthrough. They'll still, even in part of this, they're still going to talk about the same old stuff. But whatever they may have got a little bit of evidence back, DNA from some of the items that was in that little arbor or something. I only listened to like a minute or two of it, so we're going to just see what they say. I mean, but the truth is not going to come out until authorities is ready for it to. Thank you, love. Hope you all having a good day. I pray the prayers has helped you, Tanya, and you keep strong, and your friend wouldn't want you to be down. So you talk to the Lord and you keep your head up. You do that. You fight it. And thank you for the Father's Day thing there, Sabina. I love each and every one of you. Y'all are family. Tanya lost two friends yesterday, day before yesterday. We lost hope, and like I said last night, she was still a JSV fam, and she still is, even in death. Because there's going to be a period to where she's going to want to speak out, and there's going to be times that Alice is going to want me to reach out to her. So
I didn't do that last night.
yeah, so it don't make no difference. They're still going to be family regardless. Yeah. Yeah, so West Virginia, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That way you'll be notified every time we come on. We'll see what they got to say about this real quick.
This is not a criminal investigation now, I'd be totally surprised. They'll go on the balance of probability. If this is not a criminal investigation now, I'd be totally surprised. They'll go on the balance of probability based on the area that we fully searched with a lot of people. We can't find any evidence, be it a backpack, a shoe, or whatever. We can't find the kids. If you can't find them, somebody has to say enough is enough right now for searching those areas. So now we move to where? There's only one other option. A nefarious take to this. In other words, a criminal type thing. That's only my personal opinion.
In June 2025,
I think that's everybody's opinion.
Revelations surfaced that would shatter everything we thought we knew about the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Long buried truths emerge, casting a stark light on Melia Brooks Murray, a mother whose actions defied all logic and compassion. While a grieving mother would be expected to break under the weight of loss, Murray instead...
Let me go fix you a cold cup, baby. With ice. Are you sure?
I'm good. I just want a sip of your coffee.
I'll go fix you a cold one. Okay. You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Don't tell me something then not.
I'm sure. I just want this.
All right.
Had dismantled every tie to her missing children with chilling precision. A woman who should have been crying out for help chose instead to remain eerily silent.
Come find out, hey Alice.
Hey Alice.
Yeah, you made it. That other one, this is the best way for you to know. The other one is only got 2 videos on it. And like 50 or 60 subscribers or something. That's the one that I was going to have to try to change and make up there in Illinois. Remember when my computer messed up there? Well, I was going to have to go in there and just make a new YouTube account. So don't pay no attention to that one. It's only this one right here. That's got this logo, and it says 2,500 and somewhat subscribers. And you're on the right one. Yeah. But this dadgum Malaya, it's a piss poor excuse for a human being. Now, that's my opinion, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot around the world the same way. Unfit mother, ain't no count for nothing, lazy, okay, and if there's probably no drugs involved, she don't want to have nothing to do with you. That's just the type of person she throws off to me, because she don't give a damn about these babies. Her best friend offered to babysit the baby and let her go search, and she said, I'm not searching for a damn thing. So that wiped all interest from me with her out. I have no use for her. Will not believe a word she says, period. And Romeo here, I don't believe a word he says neither. He's speaking half truths. That's because he's trying to cover for her butt, which is stupid. But yes, they did take the baby from her. So they would have not taken that baby if it would have been something criminal. If it was not something criminal. He's had charges before, and it could have just led up to just like this back then. So another thing, she left. She left him, changed her Facebook. She did the whole 9 yards, single, blocked him, this, that, and other, which was stupid because they still text. Yeah. And come find out, everything happened late that Thursday night and early Friday morning. Well, what the deal was not that week. It had happened days before. But the day that the kids actually went missing, Friday morning, well, they had a dispute that night. And up in the early morning hours, both families tried to collide there in the front yard. And she left before the search was even started for the children. Way up in the morning. It's their twisted game, and it just ain't gonna work.
Mother who should have clung to the last known place her children were seen, fled and vanished without a trace. Today, the story we reveal is not of two missing children, but of the unsettling behavior of a woman whose cold indifference became the most pivotal piece of the puzzle.
Cold. That's the best way to pronounce her. Cold. Above ground or under dirt, either one be fine. When you can treat a child like that, you're a disgrace to society. I don't give a damn who you are. If you mistreat a child, you're worthless.
Unraveling one of Canada's most haunting and unresolved mysteries. If you've been following the tragic case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, you know that something about it has always felt off, a sense of unease that lingered from the very start. But what we've uncovered about their mother, Amelia Brooks Murray, has far surpassed even our darkest suspicions. Hit the like button if you're ready for revelations that will shake you to the core.
You reckon?
Subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. It's fascinating to see how this case has captivated global attention, drawing people from all corners of the world into the mystery. In the world of criminal investigations, there's an unspoken rule. A parent's actions in the first 48 hours following their child's disappearance reveal more than any piece of evidence could. And Amelia Brooks Murray's behavior during those critical hours was so bizarre, so chillingly out of step with what we would expect.
Yeah, there's 9 on and 3 lights. Come on, guys.
Experts continue to study it as a textbook example of unnatural conduct. Born in 1998 to a McMack family in Nova Scotia, Amelia's early life was anything but stable. Raised by her mother, Cindy Murray, in the traditions of the Indigenous people, her childhood was marked by volatility. By the time she was 23, Amelia had already borne 2 children, fathered by a man who, according to officials, had little to do with their upbringing.
That's her fault. She should have kept her legs closed. She can't blame that on anybody else.
Rumors swirled that the children's father was under house arrest, though even this detail remained murky and unconfirmed. In 2023, Amelia crossed paths with Daniel Mardell, a man 6 years her senior who worked at a local sawmill. Their relationship progressed quickly, and soon Amelia had moved into his secluded home on Gerallick Road in Lansdowne Station. A year later, they welcomed a daughter, Meadow, into the world. On the surface, it appeared to be a typical story of a young family struggling to establish a life in rural Nova Scotia. But beneath that veneer of normalcy, a much darker, more disturbing story was unfolding. Neighbors had long whispered about the strange happenings at the Brooks-Murray household. Cars arrived late into the night, the sound of raised voices echoed through the walls, and peculiar smells wafted from the property. Smells no one could quite place. One neighbor later confided in reporters, "I always thought something was off there, but I never imagined children lived there." On paper, Amelia was registered as a stay-at-home mother, yet those familiar with the family spoke of her frequent absences, especially in the evenings. Daniel, her partner, worked only 1 day a week, a detail that left many perplexed. How could a family of 5 survive on such a meager income? That question would grow more critical as the investigation unfolded. Amelia's relationship with her children also raised disturbing questions. Teachers at the local school described Lily and Jack as unusually quiet, often arriving at school tired and withdrawn. Brian Ward, the school bus driver, recalled how the young children would occasionally fall asleep on the ride home. An oddity for 6 and 4-year-olds, typically brimming with energy. But it was their isolation that was most concerning. In a tight-knit community where everyone knew everyone else, Lily and Jack were virtually invisible. They had no friends, never participated in neighborhood events, and were rarely seen playing outside. This isolation...
Why would you do that to a child? Why in the world would you keep your children from having days of playing outside?
I mean, I would get it if it was snowing or if it was raining constantly for a few days, but other than that.
But they're talking about since she's been there with it. No outside playing that anybody has seen. No comings and goings. You just don't do that. And I guess when they did take the children anywhere, that's why Jack was so talkative, because he didn't have nobody to really talk to at home other than his sister. Because probably every time he would try to talk at home, somebody would ignore him or tell him shut up.
Most likely.
And probably did the same thing to Lily.
would become a haunting factor when their absence went unnoticed for far too long. The final week of April 2025 marked a chilling turning point in the Sullivan family's story. Starting April 29th, Lily and Jack failed to appear at school. Amelia claimed it was due to Lily's illness, but no medical records could confirm such a condition. The mystery of what was transpiring inside that...
These children, other than being born, they have never been to a doctor, not even a ears, nose, and throat doctor. They had no records of them under anything. And I don't understand that. How did they get them signed up for school or whatnot, and then them not have paperwork? Or was Malaya using the reservation to do so? Now, they may not put out paperwork for it because it can be withheld from a child if they want to keep a child's secret in the reservation. So I guarantee you that's what was going on there. Hey, Lisa. Yeah, to say she knows about that tribal stuff. Um, she thought she was playing a good game here, that's for sure, and has for a good while. But now that they found them two bodies and evidence that they bagged up and sent off, again, YouTubers are just going to keep on and on and on about they did this, they didn't do that. Here's a new report on this, and it's all going to revolve around the same thing. They're just chasing tail until authorities is ready to put it out there. They've done got evidence. They've done got remains. Until authorities is ready to put it out to the public, all YouTubers is doing is just getting views. This here is just, like I said, the one we watched a minute ago was just an apology from authorities for not doing their job correctly. And these like this right here, they're trying to put everything off on someone like Malaya and on Jack and whatnot and their families, but really it's just a apology to the public for not upholding and doing their job. Because right now Nova Scotia looks like crap. They need to fire every one of their hands and put in some real men. These searchers, they have worked day and night, day and night. They've done their job. And they're saying the reason they pulled out is because there were no more evidence. They done found it. Common sense go a long way, people use it. I mean, we seen plainly two children that would still have plenty of DNA. And the little arbor that was built that Jack and Lily did not build. I've looked at them pictures of them babies. She don't even really look even the size of a 6-year-old. And Jack, to tell you the truth, really don't even look like a full forced 4-year-old. They did not get out in the woods and build that arbor. But that arbor was not built the first time they went through or the second time they went through there. It's just built now, recently.
When parents had to do it.
And claiming that none of that stuff in there was connected to their children. Well, I beg to differ, because they wouldn't have pulled out if they didn't have enough DNA. I mean, people were getting hurt. People were falling on limbs, and one guy got a limb off of a log stuck plumb through his leg. I mean, they've done their job, and there's no sense in putting that back in there. Well, you know, like I say, it's just their way of apologizing. It's just a way to keep YouTubers keep going. But there's really nothing anybody else can do until they throw out what the DNA says. Prayingly that the two child remains is not Jack and Lily, but it's 99.9% that it is. It would be awesome if it would, but then again, if it ain't Jack and Lily, then we got something else to worry about, because that's just walking distance from their home. There are no other street lights, no nothing past that edge of that pipeline. So that's one thing that worries me too. Again, if it is not Jack and Lily, now we're up against something else. So, yeah.
House during those days remains one of the most unsettling aspects of the case. Then on May 1st, 2025, an event occurred that would change everything. According to RCMP data released on May 28th, the children were seen in public, accompanied by family members in New Glasgow.
Nope.
This revelation was shocking. If Lily and Jack had been alive and well just a day before their supposed disappearance, what transpired in those following 18 hours?
Thank you, love.
The next day on May 2nd, at precisely 10 a.m., Amelia made a 911 call that would alter the course of the investigation. Her voice, strangely calm for a mother reporting the disappearance of two young children, was noted by the dispatcher as oddly mechanical. My children are missing.
I forgot about Father's Day.
I've got a 4-page front and back here, and right with what he just said, it was close to the Lansdale station on the line of the pipeline. Cousin touched with fingers. Mom and dad, they were bad to Jack. I heard them cry. It smells. It has a smell now. Not too far from trees, from rows in mud. He would play rough with the children when playing. Be nearly naked, buried. They will find them. Can't believe he did this. They did this. There is no reason. I want my mama. I'm on my road. They've changed color. Yes, they're blue. Remote area, about a mile and a half in. Much blood. Smells. This is Rose. Smells at their whereabouts. Seen a plane. Guy spoke up and said the little boy was funny, but sadly they were both very sickly. They did have things in the backyard. A pillow was used because they were angry. The word murder. Mom, yeah. And he is a maniac. A lot of country. This is a crime. They had a party on Thursday. Dig them out. They will never see them again. Mom never wanted to see or hear us again. A pillow again. A lake. Or kind of like a creek. Beaten, hit in head. Yeah, it hurt. The female spirit that I believe is a loved one to them said, I seen them in the room on Friday. They missed, and I'm pretty sure they're talking about school, and searchers missed a creek in it, and then boyfriend. I know they were together at the house, hit in head. Yeah, it's true. The mom didn't want us, see us, or to hear us. Dog's Point, something there. Can't believe they did us this way. Uh, Home is no safe place.
Hey,
Uh,
Kathy.
he came in my room. Mom was bad to Jack. They both did it, even in the backyard. Uh, he's down. He's down. Little Jack, poor children. At the deep point, hurt because they were both angry, beat. They will find us both. Felonies for both, 1 to 2 feet in. That wasn't Jack's footprint, that was mine. My family is mean to him. Both where I have been, Jack, Lansdowne Station. There's like a lake, kind of like a creek. Yep, cousin died at home. Yep, dad and mom. Yep, mean. He used to touch me with his finger. Um, Grandma was there. He faked everything. So, you think I'd have any use for any of them pieces of crap, Flip? No. I don't give a damn who it was. You treat a child like that, I have no use for you. Well, it looked like they had slid down a bag off of them, a black bag, enough that you could tell they're laying on their side. You can see the arm, the side of the face, and everything. I mean, it's perfect visual. Um, hey, Kathy.
I already said hey.
Thank you, Kathy. Uh,
Hey, Pam.
hey. So, these right here are going to be um, just talking about what we know, but it does say shocking 30 minutes ago breakthrough in, probably it says L and it cuts off, probably some lies again that they've told. So this story goes deeper than what the public even has any idea of. And we got all this within a 2.5 day period, 4 full pages before any other YouTuber started picking this up. We got on this one quick, but the thing of it was, they didn't report the kids when they first went missing. They went missing at least a week prior. And that is pathetic. She said, Pamela says she sent something to your phone earlier. Yeah, I think I've seen something on mine too, but when I was trying to go on here, I'll look on mine too when I'm done. You got something from her a while ago?
Might be a lot of the phone, but I have
Okay.
turned off on the internet.
Yeah,
right
she's
now.
been turning that other phone off while in here in case it's
That way it won't interfere with the live.
yeah, in case that's what's throwing the Wi-Fi off.
And this one that I'm on now, it won't notify me about messages.
We'll check it in a little bit.
Missing, she stated flatly, her tone devoid of the hysteria or sorrow one would expect in such a dire situation. When the dispatcher pressed for details, Melia's responses were brief, almost robotic, without the panic or despair that usually accompanies such a call. What truly happened in the hours leading up to this moment?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it. Anybody want to buy any of these, or the dark blue,
Or right here, right where my hand's at.
or some
These are necklaces.
jewelry,
This one right here in the middle.
or some shirts, joggers, anything.
It is of summers. That has two meanings.
The full coverage is going to be 161 down and 112 a month. So That's what we got to do. So if y'all want to buy something or donate to the channel, please do so. If you do not know the Cash App, hit me up on Messenger and I'll give it to you. Otherwise, they have to come get the truck. So, and then Christina loses her job. I paid rent and truck payment, and that wiped my check out. And them cutting her days, it's just not worked up for us this time. So if anybody wants to buy anything, we have got to come up with it. So, or like I
And
said,
there's still stuff on Facebook Marketplace that I've put up
and little birdhouses and things, clothes, jewelry.
all kind of stuff.
If y'all want to buy something, please do soon, because I have got till I think 5:30 Thursday evening to fax her papers stating full coverage insurance, and I'm doing it through Goggins Insurance Company, down here in Scottsboro, closest place for me. But that's what it's going to be, down payment, and then that's what it's going to be for monthly, which that's okay. But just getting the down payment is what's going to be the problem. So if y'all can, please buy some stuff. If you want to, or just want to donate, do it that way. But if you send it to like Super Chat or anything like that, they take 15%, and you don't get it till the next following month. So if you want to donate or whatever, hit the Cash App. And if you don't know the Cash App, hit me up and I will give you the Cash App to do it too. Will be greatly appreciated. I don't want her to lose her job. She loves her job. She's doing good. If they hadn't wanted us to, so I had to pay $750 a day. I went and got the truck. But in total, they wanted an extra $550. They gave us till the 3rd to pay that. When we paid that, then we didn't have enough money to finish paying the insurance that from down there. So I got liability, and they said they don't care nothing about no liability. It's got to be full coverage. And they called my sister, because at the time she was with me when we went down and got the car. I'm in the truck, and her number's on the one we had at the time. So they called and told her that we got till Thursday at 5:30, or they'll just come get the vehicle. We've tried that. We've been trying that, Joni, and there's just nothing hit up yet. Well, I mean, like I said, if y'all want like some of these things, I got, I think 2 or 3 more of these, 2 or 3 more of that color, shirts. I got a few pair of joggers.
He moves his puppy CVs.
Yeah,
Necklaces. This one right here in the middle.
Got jewelry.
Summer's Army, and it has 2 wings on it.
You got this thing here hanging that's got a lot of jewelry on it too. You got little coasters and whatever they're called. Put your can or Coke in.
I like to call them beer coasters because that's what it holds perfectly.
We have tried the site, but nothing's hitting. We have tried it. We're trying everything we can possibly do because it's narrowing down to Thursday. Ain't giving us much time here.
Was Melia's behavior a mere reaction to stress, or was there something far darker at play here? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think she played a role in what happened to Lily and Jack? But what unfolds next will shake you to your core. Stick with us because the real story is about to be revealed. the 911 call Amelia Brooks Murray made on May 2nd, 2025, would mark the beginning of a chilling pattern of suspicious behavior that only deepened the mystery of her children's disappearance. In the hours following the call, as search efforts ramped up, Amelia's actions continued to perplex rescue services.
Yeah, we've tried
Instead of immersing
WhatsApp,
herself in the search for her missing
everything.
children, as any concerned mother would, she remained in the house, speaking to officials with a disconcerting monotony. Search and rescue coordinators had expected to find a grief-stricken mother, desperate for assistance, but instead they encountered a woman who seemed disturbingly detached from the urgency of the situation. The first and only television interview Amelia gave came less than 24 hours after the disappearance, on May 3rd, 2025. What was meant to be a cry for help would become one of the most analyzed moments in the case. Body language experts around the world scrutinized every frame of the interview. Her posture was closed off, her eyes avoided direct contact with the camera, and her speech lacked the emotional depth one would expect from a mother whose children had vanished. "I just want to stay as hopeful as possible," she said, but her face revealed no trace of hope. "I want them home," she added, but her tone was eerily flat, as if she were placing an order at a coffee shop. The most troubling part came when she explained how her children had disappeared. "We always make sure we're out there with them, watching them, and they just got out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens." This statement contained a glaring contradiction. If they always kept watch over the children, how could they have slept through their departure? The two missing children stood by as dozens of people came together, united in their support. Yet amidst this show of solidarity, there was one conspicuous absence that left a chilling void. It's every parent's worst nightmare. "You never want to experience something like this," one attendee said, voice laced with emotion. "And it's important for them to know their community is here, offering support if they need it." But despite this outpouring of support, the mother of the missing children was nowhere to be seen. Amelia Brooks Murray's absence at an event meant to honor her own children shocked everyone. The organizers had no choice but to address the growing concern among the press. The scene was one of collective grief, with strangers, some of whom had never met Lily and Jack, weeping for their loss. But their own mother, the one person who should have been leading the charge for their return, was conspicuously absent. For many, this absence spoke louder than any words could. It became a symbol of her emotional detachment from a tragedy she was supposed to be at the center of. The silence surrounding her was compounded by the presence of strangers who mourned the children they had never met. Seeing people they didn't know crying for Lily and Jack, while on the morning of May 2nd, he and Amelia were dozing in bed with Meadow when Lily came and went from the room, and Jack was heard in the kitchen. But at 8:20 a.m., silence fell. What parent of small children stays in bed while their kids are awake and wandering around? Most would get up to feed them, change diapers, or tend to their needs. Daniel claimed the children silently slipped out through the sliding door, but anyone familiar with the condition of that trailer knew no door could open without making noise.
I looked at that back door. I zoomed in on it, and it's so rusty. They would have a hard time opening that back door. They would probably have to get something put in that little click, that little trigger, and pull it. That's how rusty it is. There's no way under the sun that them kids went through that door. That
Shock
dog
came
won't
with
hunt.
Amelia's unnatural calmness during her interview with CTV News. She spoke as if reading from a script. "I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them," she said. But there was no urgency, no emotion. "We always make sure we're out there with them. They happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens." And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. Most mothers in such a situation would be hysterical, sobbing, begging for help. But Amelia remained eerily composed, devoid of tears or genuine despair. Was this the face of a grieving mother or someone hiding a far darker truth?
Yeah.
Something wasn't right, and the chilling details only grew more suspicious. If you're feeling unsettled, hit the like.
They have found some children's remains. That's why they ended up pulling out. They found a few things that had been in the woods there pretty close to the home, like a little arbor thing had been built, stacked up, like kids play in, like build a little house. Um, they bagged all that up, everything, and then along that pipeline, they found two remains. Um, looks plainly like two children. So they're just, like I said, they're just going to keep throwing up stuff about Jack and Lily to keep it rolling, to just to get what they can out of it. But there ain't nothing else anybody can do until they release the DNA. And we'll know that by their arrest. So um, everything that they're saying, just like this right here, the same thing they said in the beginning. They already know. Yeah, it is. It's so sad.
Button. Subscribe to the channel for more on this investigation, because the truth behind Lily and Jack Sullivan's disappearance is far from over, and it's one you won't be able to ignore. Daniel's behavior throughout the search for Lily and Jack was oddly controlled and unsettling. He knew exactly what his children were wearing, Lily in a pink shirt and Jack in blue dinosaur boots, but then stated, "I did not see Jack that morning," despite describing his clothing in detail. How could he know what Jack was wearing if he didn't see him? His statements were filled with contradictions, and his calm tone when discussing the children's disappearance raised suspicions. Jack just loves bugs and dinosaurs, and Lily loves girly things. But she also loved doing everything with Jack, he said, speaking of them in the past tense, as if they were already gone. This eerie use of past tense made many question whether Daniel already knew more than he was letting on. Even more disturbing was the unfolding tension within the family. By the end of the first day, an open fight erupted at the house. Daniel's relatives, people who had known the children their whole lives, directly accused him of involvement in their disappearance. "My mother had to kick people off the property because they were saying I did it," Daniel later recounted, his words defensive but tinged with guilt. The accusations weren't baseless. Something had triggered suspicion within the family that Daniel was hiding the truth. This chilling sequence of events mirrored the behavior of other infamous cases, such as the Chris Watts tragedy, leaving many to question how far Amelia and Daniel would go to conceal the truth. In the first 24 hours of the investigation into the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan, disturbing patterns began to emerge, raising more questions than answers. When Daniel Martell spoke publicly, his cold, calculating demeanor mirrored that of other notorious cases. His focus seemed more on his public image than on the missing children. "I want to clear..."
Yeah, he won't look right into the camera. He won't stare you in the eyes. I mean, it's... Anybody with common sense knows that he's trying to cover for her. Now, I'm sure he did his part in it too. But he has a weird type love for this girl. And he's covering for her, and he will until they give him a sentence in court. And then he still may try to claim her innocence.
"Things up for everyone?" he insisted, asking for a polygraph test to prove his innocence. But why was he more concerned with public opinion than with finding the children? Even more troubling was the timeline leading up to the children's disappearance. They hadn't attended school all week, allegedly due to Lily's cough. However, there were no doctor visits, no prescriptions, no medical records to confirm this. The school bus driver, Brian Ward, confirmed he last saw the children on Tuesday, April 29th, several days before they went missing. So what happened in those lost 72 hours? Were the children even alive by Friday? Rumors began to swirl. Neighbors reported hearing a loud party the night before the disappearance, with unfamiliar cars staying until 2 a.m. One neighbor even admitted to journalists that he suspected the house was used for drug dealing and hadn't even known children lived there. This raised serious questions about the parents' priorities and their behavior in the days leading up to the disappearance. By May 3rd, just 24 hours after the children went missing, the RCMP Major Crime Unit was called in, an unprecedented move for a missing child case. Major crime units typically handle murders, which indicated the police suspected the worst from the very start. And tragically, what they suspected was accurate. But the biggest mystery remained: the other people on the property. Daniel's mother and brother lived on the same property, yet neither was included in the timeline or interviewed about that morning. Why were they silent? What did they know? Their absence from the narrative only deepened the suspicions surrounding the parents. By May, Woods. His clothes were immaculate, his hair neat. Nothing matched the heroic narrative he painted. His financial situation raised further questions. Working just 1 day a week while supporting 5 people didn't add up. When asked, Daniel gave vague responses about work slowdowns, but experts familiar with the lumber industry knew such schedules didn't exist. Where did the money come from?
Shake and bake. Shake and bake.
What funded the parties and the drugs? By May 12th, a significant shift occurred in the investigation. The RCMP stopped providing Daniel with daily search updates, standard procedure for cooperative parents. This cutoff signaled that Daniel was no longer seen as a victim, but as a suspect. Police were now focusing on all avenues of the investigation.
Yeah, he wouldn't even back allowed in the forest. So the items that they found and bagged up, they're keeping all that from him of what they found, and called off the search. Found the remains. Could be Jack and Lily. They said last night on that one we were listening to that they were in the middle of getting DNA reports back from items that were found and from the remains. If it comes back, anything, because he said out of his own mouth, them bloody underwear, the blanket, this and that and other, didn't have nothing to do with her, with Lily. But in that little arbor, they found like little drinks and I guess like juice boxes, whatnot, with a little straw in it. That's going to have DNA. Another little blanket and something else. So every bit of that is going to have DNA on it. And when it comes back, that's it.
Examining every detail with the same meticulous process they would in a homicide case. On May 15th, it was revealed that police had seized Daniel's phone and demanded full access to his bank accounts and geolocation data. His complaint about the scrutiny, "They want to know my every movement for the last month," raised red flags. Such scrutiny is typically applied to suspects, not witnesses. Police were clearly digging for evidence related to the children's disappearance. What remained the most disturbing was the complete absence of family support. Daniel's mother and brother, who lived on the same property, never appeared by his side during interviews. Their silence spoke volumes. What did they know that caused them to distance themselves? By mid-May, it became clear that Daniel's public insistence on taking a polygraph was part of a calculated strategy. While the innocent often seek lie detectors, criminologists know the guilty sometimes do the same, manipulating public perception to their advantage. Daniel's staged emotional breakdowns, rehearsed statements, and excessively precise details raised even more doubts about his innocence. His focus on his image, rather than the fate of the children, became unmistakable. Meanwhile, Melia Brooks Murray, after a single mechanical interview on May 3rd, completely disappeared. She claimed the RCMP advised her not to speak with the media, a huge red flag. In missing children cases, parents are encouraged to make emotional appeals to maintain public attention and attract witnesses. Melia's silence indicated she was being treated as a suspect or someone whose statements might harm the investigation. On May 4th, Amelia left Pictou County with her 16-month-old daughter, Meadow, and never returned to the property. What mother leaves the place where her children disappeared? A real mother would either stay, hoping for their return, or search tirelessly herself. Amelia's flight suggested she knew there would be no return for the children. When her mother, Cindy Murray, was forced to speak to the press in Amelia's absence, it cemented the fact that Amelia was avoiding attention. "We're just hoping and praying for the best," the grandmother said. But why had Amelia disappeared?
See, they had to force her mother to say anything. That's pathetic.
Where was the mother who should have been fighting for her children, not hiding behind relatives? On May 13th, the RCMP revealed the scale of the investigation into Lilly and Jack Sullivan's disappearance, signaling the seriousness of their suspicions. With over 180 public tips and 35 formal interviews, the case quickly transitioned from a missing children search to a possible homicide investigation. Common for murder cases, not missing children. The underwater search team combed nearby waters, and search dogs lost the children's trail at the end of the driveway, suggesting that the children were either picked up by a car or their bodies transported by vehicle. Given the area's isolation, the latter seemed more likely. On May 9th, a report came in about a suspicious black Honda CR-V leaving the vicinity near the residence. The driver, a man in his 50s, further fueled the investigation. But the most telling sign of suspicion came on May 7th, when Sergeant Robert McCammon, speaking to the press, stated, "The likelihood they're alive right now is very low." Such statements were not made lightly. They hinted at what the RCMP wasn't yet saying publicly. Police suspected the worst from the start. The more investigators dug, the more they were convinced that the parents knew far more than they were letting on. By May 19th, after days of intense searching with 115 volunteers, the RCMP called off the search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan without any results. Despite the team's tireless efforts, including navigating through thick woods and hurricane-damaged terrain, Amy Hansen, one of the search managers, admitted, "We're exhausting people. We're starting to see more injuries. It's time to scale back." The search areas had been thoroughly combed, even from above by helicopter, making it clear that no stone had been left unturned. As the search effort faltered, experts began to weigh in. Criminologist Michael Arnfield from Western University noted, "It just doesn't add up. The case went in the wrong direction early on, and key leads were lost." Former homicide investigator Steve Ryan echoed this sentiment, highlighting the significant gap in the investigation. "The parents' story leaves a very large hole," he said, adding that the lack of eyewitnesses further complicated matters. By May 20th, comparisons to other high-profile cases, such as Summer Wells, became unavoidable. The parallels were striking: isolated location, suspicious parents, and a sudden disappearance without a trace. Both cases featured homes rife with chaos, where drugs were reportedly used, and where the parents' behavior suggested a disturbing lack of concern for the children's safety.
See, that's the thing. See, they don't know what evidence they have right now because he's been forced to stay away from any of the searchers or out of the woods or anything like that there. He's not allowed in there anymore. So these things that they've already found, and even the remains they found, I bet he is sick to his stomach. And of course, now nothing will be done until all the DNA comes back. But when it does, it's going to be like a ton of bricks fall on them nut jobs. And, the phone call between him and his cousin, like I said yesterday, I bet the phones was tapped and Malaya was on the other end. His cousin was on the other end. I think things were discussed and they played a fool. So
They probably got them in custody now. Right now.
Well, when they do get them in custody,
Because they won't let the public know that they got them in custody yet.
Until they get ready to
Confess.
finish with the interrogation.
Oh, yeah.
Then they'll tell what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll tell what the court date will be. Yeah, it's just sickening. Poor little old babies. They don't deserve none of this crap. Nobody does. It's just stomach turning. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. We got some things to do today. Clothes and all other things. We're going to go through Wanda's closet and hang up that TV in the bedroom and I guess sort out some of Mother's stuff that might be in Wanda's room and stuff. So we got our hands full today. Love each and every one of you, and thank you.
Have a good day.
And
be safe.
Again, if anybody would like to donate to help, feel free. Hit me up on Messenger, and I'll let you know the cash out.
Hey, that bruise is still